Assalamu alaikum, beautiful people. Peace be upon you all. Welcome to AKTV Motivation Show. Today I have got an awesome, brilliant motivational speaker and life coach, Miss Tracey. Thank you, Tracey, for being with me. My first question to you, on behalf of audience, we are living in pandemic situation now, and very tough moment at the moment. A lot of people in depressed, stressed. Lots of people lose their job. Businessmen losing their hope. A tough situations. So, as a life coach, as a motivational speaker, what you can give suggestions to the general people, how they can survive at the moment, how can they lead their life according to that situation. Can you please explain us?
Sure. So for me, I've said this to you as well, that we always talk about the COVID situation and we say we're all in the same boat, and we're actually not. COVID is the ocean, and all of us are in different boats in this ocean at the moment. And I think just in terms of surviving is first of all being aware that our circumstances are different, and to go within more. So whilst you can't change what's happening around you, and I know losing a job, losing a loved one to, for example, COVID, is very, very devastating. However, you can't control that. You need to be able to control how you react to that, basically. So I would suggest just finding ways to create more self-awareness for yourself and how to manage that stress, and then start looking at positive ways to progress. So for example, if you have lost your job, okay, it's terrible, but what can I do about it? Who can I go and seek support from? And I think during this time, the times that we're in, to be aware of one another. We need to actually lean on one another. I know not all of us have maybe close family or friends that we can trust and go to for help, but there's always, I don't know, I'm even thinking about the depression and anxiety group, for example. If you are struggling with depression, there's a hotline where you can phone someone and go for counseling. You can get hold of a life coach, and I know it's also affordability, so it will just depend on your circumstances again. But the main key for me, I think, is don't get into a negative spiral. Focus on what you can do to create positivity and move forward.
Okay. So you mean that, like you said, get life coaches and being consultant from people like you, but like you also saying that is not always affordable at the moment to counsel from somebody professionals. So those who doesn't have that affordability, the relaxations and being positive, this is the main things that you're saying to do at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, no, 100%. So I think the human body, as we know, is absolutely fascinating. So it's just in our brain alone, we have millions of neurons, and we have neural pathways. I mean, I don't want to get too scientific, but those neural pathways are affected by what we feed it. So, and pathways develop based on what we're constantly feeding ourselves. So if you're feeding yourself negativity, you're developing a pathway that's ingrained in negativity, and that negativity then starts manifesting in your body as stress, as anxiety, illness even. And so the key is to actually switch the way you think, and to actually take those thoughts captive, those negative thoughts that you have, to actually say, no, how can I make this positive? And I think one of the things we do as human beings is we tend to feed off the negativity and the hype. I'm just thinking in the media, and a lot of us actually, people get obsessed with it to the point where it starts consuming them, creating a fear that actually overrides any kind of positivity that they could potentially be open to. So my suggestion, first of all, is notice what your triggers are, notice where the negativity is coming in, and start avoiding certain things. So like if the media is creating anxiety for you, don't watch it. Yes, you need to know some information. Knowledge is important, but don't be consumed by it. And I think one of the ways, once you've detached from something like that, to say, what can I do now to relax, to manage my anxiety? And I know your question was, what else can you do? Perhaps I can share that now, or do you want to?
Yeah, it's fine. Just a little bit of advice.
Sure. So, like I said to you, with regards to the human brain, so the body again, we've got a nervous system, and we've got I don't know if you know, flight. So when we're anxious, we want to either run away or we want to fight. We get into that space of extreme anxiety.
It's automatically internal body is functioning inside. When you feel that.
It's an automatic response in response to fear and anxiety. So the way to do that, to calm down your system, is to engage what they call the parasympathetic system, which is a system that calms down what's happening in your body. And those techniques include breathing techniques. So you'll often find when people are anxious, they're like short of breath like this. So when you're aware of that
this came from depression, right?
Anxiety, depression, tension, you know, worry, that kind of thing. Notice that. I'm short of breath, I'm overthinking, my brain's not switching off, what can I do? And one of the things you can do is hold your hand on your abdomen and your chest and notice where you're breathing from. So breathe from your stomach, from here.
Okay. So this is a part of a home exercise as well?
Yeah, so it's a home exercise, it's a breathing technique. Also what works very well is breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And that also has an incredibly calming effect. And to notice what you're thinking when you're doing that. So what I encourage my clients to do when I'm in coaching sessions and I notice they're battling with anxiety, or even myself, you breathe in positive energy and breathe out the negative energy.
Breathe in by nose, breathe out by mouth.
And visualize, I'm breathing in light and I'm breathing out negativity. And actually, you can actually visualize it. If you're a visual, not everyone's visual, some people are more visual, but you can actually visualize the light coming in and the darkness, like the clouds going out, you know.
I understand. Viewers, I believe you guys understand what is really actually Tracey tried to say. She said that we always not focused on negative. If there's anything, she gave one example of televisions. If televisions or TV give you some news, some things that brings you negativity, ignore to watch it. Ignore to watch it. You don't need to watch, no need to give space for the negativity. And when you have the stress, just do a home exercise. Like she said, to imagine you breathe in positive, breathe out negative. So let me see again how you do it. Just show again how to take the breath and in and out. You said where to.
So you can hold. I think it's your right hand on your abdomen, your left hand. Or the other way around. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't know which way, but just notice your breath. So if you're breathing, you'll notice if you're anxious, you're actually breathing more from your chest area. And a lot of people that are anxious, they're not, especially like, you know, before a job interview, your heart's you got like, so then just calm yourself down and notice your breath is coming from your stomach. So when you breathe in through your nose, breathe in through your stomach up. And out through your
and then imaginations, like you breathe in, you breathe in positive and you breathe out negative. Thank you so much, I love that. Anyway, I hope you guys also enjoyed. So secondly, I wants to know as a motivational speaking and life coaching, and that is, you know, lots of people during this pandemic situation, no matter how you say, just ignore negative, don't let negativity thought comes into our mind, no matter how much you fight for not to come in our mind. But there is one question: if somebody broke enough financially, it's very hard, it's very tough to avoid this thing not to come in your mind, because financially you broke. You remember, at the end you have family to live, you have children to take care of. So that consequences, I mean, in these circumstances, what you suggesting and how you solve the problem to the people when people come with that problem to you?
Do you know what? I think it's such a tough one, because it depends on the circumstances. So, for example, you're in a marriage and one of you loses your job. You do fortunately have the support of maybe your spouse. Let's hope that's the case. What are you going to do to manage the household expenses, for example? Can you cut back? Maybe you might have to sell your home and get a smaller place, or sell a car, for example. So there's practical ways of doing it. But I'm talking, I mean, I also know that there's people that are on the streets, there's extreme poverty. So from my perspective, as someone that has, I need to be able to give. So I want to just encourage people that have to notice what's around them and to say, how can I support the community as well? I think there's a lot of charities and things where you can actually contribute to buy, I think it's 100 Rand, I can't remember the charity's name now, where you support a child for a month with food, for example. So all I'm saying is those, I know you're speaking specifically about an individual that's in a difficult
financially problem.
And then also just to, first of all, don't get yourself into a state of complete anxiety, because what happens is when you are stressed and anxious, you don't think very clearly. And so what happens is you just get into the spiral of negativity. And sometimes, I mean, when people have lost the job, we know this. I know my own friends have got retrenched, get into a place of severe depression where they actually immobilize themselves, and I can't think, they can't move, they're exhausted, their body just shuts down. Try not to do that. Try to actually say, how am I going to make this right? This is not the end. I can do something else. There has to be something else out there, you know, and just start looking for opportunities. I mean, whether it's baking muffins and selling them to the business down the road, or getting involved with, I mean, I know people will say it's a pyramid scheme, but something like a Herbalife where you can maybe help people improve their health and make some money off of something like that. I know personally, I've got a friend who was a personal trainer during COVID, and as we know, no one could go to the gyms. So what did she do? She had to find a new way of coaching people. So she went online and she got involved with something like Herbalife, for example. So I know there's opportunities and everybody's in a different space. So I can't say what's going to work for one is going to work for the other. But what I'm saying is look for the opportunities. Don't let yourself think, I can't do this. I'm done now because I lost my job.
So basically what you're saying, that no matter what situations we are, we must, moving forward, we must try our best. Somewhere, somehow, God will give us opportunity to make money.
100%.
That's what you're saying?
Yes, I do. I am basically saying to keep the hope at the end of the day.
End of the day.
And also not to, I mean, your voice, your inner voice is so important. So, for example, when someone has been retrenched or they've lost their job, I think what often happens is it knocks their self-esteem and they start feeling like a failure. They start telling themselves they're a failure. And then you attract failure because you just get into that negative space. And to be able to tell yourself, just because you've lost your job, you're not a failure and you can make a difference. And again, I believe in the law of attraction. I believe God created that, the law of attraction. Everything is energy. So if you're putting negative energy out there or in here, you're going to attract it. If you're putting it out there and in here, it's going to come. So just as far as it's up to you to try and stay positive. And there's obviously ways of doing that too.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tracey. Once again, Javios, that is stay positive, be positive, do positive, always positive. So that is the one thing can make this situation become your favor, isn't it?
100%. It's a choice at the end of the day as well. So we can choose to just lie there and be negative and not get active and do exercise, or we can choose to actually say, I'm going to start making changes and go for it, you know, and then keep pushing through, because like I said, it needs to become a habit. It can't just be a once-off thing. It's a continuous thing. And your brain, you actually can get addicted to exercise because, again, your brain's a fascinating organ. It's like, oh, I love these hormones that are now these happy endorphin hormones that are flowing through my body. I want more, I want more. And that's what you want. You want to get into a good habit and not the bad habits. So.
Thank you so much. That is also again saying the commands of your brain is more important. What you commands to your brain. Whatever you commands your brain, your action will be that way. That is the main things to control our brain, isn't it? All right, thank you so much, Tracey. Dear viewers, hope you guys understood that what is conclusion is we must stay safe, stay positive, always doing positive work and thinking positive. Then only our our work become positive, our life become positive. Stay positive. Don't go after negative. Don't think of negative. Especially of this pandemic situation, we need to be positive. Because, and how do we become positive? What to do? Exercise, meditations, the breathing exercise she showed. We must do every day. Positive in, positive out. I love that. Thank you so much. I never knew that. And meditations, and be with your family. Talk to your lover one. Talk to your those who are really well wishers. Talk to them. Be with them. Everything will be all right. God is always there. Good for us if we do good. Thank you so much. We can say goodbye for now. Next show, next time we'll see you guys again with another guest, with another topic. God bless us all. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Tracey, for coming.
Oh, it was such a pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm really honored.
Thank you.